Monday morning and back to school. No doubt the talk of the school will be on Nancy. In a way, I want to go to school so I can find out more information about her, but other part of me dreads going for that same reason. Either way, this Monday is different from any other Monday I've had before. Mom drops me off at school. I usually get there 10 minutes before the first bell. I get off the car and look around. It's crazy at first sight. There are several cops standing outside of school, groups of people as usual talking quietly amongst themselves, and some people crying. I look for James, Jack, and Ellen, but I guess they hadn't arrived yet. I walk into school and see the principal and the counselor standing in front of their offices. The counselor is asking students if they need someone to talk to. Something different, though. Now they want us to sign in. After signing in, my group of friends finally arrive. Jack taps me on the back of my head. "Damn, man, did you see the cops outside?" "Yeah, not used to seeing that," I reply. "I hope they find her so this doesn't become normal," James says as he signs in. "I have a feeling this is going to be a long day," Ellen says. Jack and Ellen go to their lockers. Their lockers are on the opposite side of James and mine. James and me walk over to our lockers. I was about to tell him about my nightmare when I got tripped up and almost fell to the ground. "Great, it's Ryan Maltz." "Watch out where you're going, loser," Ryan says, laughing. "Come on, man, what's your problem?" I tell him. "What? You want to know my problem? How about I smash your face and then you can ask me about a problem," Ryan tells me. The first bell rings. He gives me a shove and walks away. Yeah, I hate him, and he definitely hates me. James and I get our books from our lockers and head to our class. Ryan Maltz. Hard to believe, but he was once my friend. He lives right across the street from me. We were close growing up. But once 8th grade came around, he joined football. He's actually a very good player. Think he plays linebacker. I didn't join, so he made new friends, and now I'm just a joke to him. As the final bell rings, I get to class in time. The four of us sit in the back of class. Yeah, we're the normal outsiders. Before class starts, the principal makes an announcement. Just a typical say a prayer for Nancy and we're here for you stuff. As class begins, the vice principal walks in and calls for 3 students to go with him to the office. Jack calls for our attention. "Hey, I heard they're going to call everyone one by one to talk to us." "About what?" Ellen asks. "About Nancy. They're asking everyone questions." Jack says, "Hey guys, I had a weird nightmare. I was about to tell them before the teacher cuts in." "No more talking. It's time for learning," the teacher says. Class finished and we were off to our next class. Usually it's loud in the hallways, but today it was more of a somber mood. They hung pictures of Nancy on the wall. I couldn't help but feel sad. "Hey, what was your nightmare?" James asked me. "What?" I asked. "You were saying something about a nightmare in class before the teacher interrupted you," James repeats. "Oh yeah, it was crazy." Then the bell rings. We hurried to class so we wouldn't be tardy. Class started, then the vice principal came into the room and called 2 more people. This time it was James and Jack. They got up and left with the vice principal. Ellen and me looked at each other with a concerned look. James and Jack came into class right before the bell rang. We walked out of class and I was anxiously waiting for them to tell us what happened. "So what did he ask?" "They asked me when was the last time I saw Nancy," Jack said. "Yeah, they asked me the same thing too," James said. "Guess they're going to ask everyone the same questions," I replied. "Well, I'm still wondering what your nightmare was," Ellen tells me. "Oh yeah, it seems I'm always being interrupted when I'm trying to tell you all. Well, now let me tell you." "Mr. Andy, Mrs. Ellen, can you please come with me?" Vice Principal Lopez asked. "Guess we're gonna have to wait again," Jack says jokingly. Ellen and me follow him to the office. We wait outside as the bells ring and everyone goes to class. He calls me first into the principal's office. Inside the office is Principal Meeks and Sheriff Garza and someone in a black suit. Vice Principal Lopez tells me to sit down and the meeting begins. Principal Meeks speaks to me first. "Hello, Andy. I wish we could meet on better terms, but unfortunately we want to ask some questions about a student. You know Sheriff Garza?" "Yes, Principal Meeks." I look over and acknowledge the sheriff. Also joining the sheriff is FBI agent Dan Copper. "They will sit in on our meeting," Principal Meeks tells me. "Andy, We are just going to ask some simple questions. This is not a legal proceeding. If you want, we can contact your parents and have them sit in as well. Agent Copper tells me. No, I will be okay. Anything I can do to help, I tell them. Do you personally know Nancy White? Principal Meeks asked me. No, not personally, just by reputation and seeing her in the hallways, I tell them. When was the last time you saw her? It was Friday afternoon. She was leaving school with some other girls. Did you go to the game Friday night? No, I stayed home with my friends. When you say you know her by reputation, what exactly do you mean? Agent Copper asked me. By reputation, I mean that she's a popular girl. I'm not sure if anyone that doesn't know her. Could she be a bully sometimes? Agent Copper asked. Probably. I don't know. Okay, thank you, Andy. You can go back to class now, Principal Meek says. I got up and left the office. I made a casual wave to Ellen as I walked by her. I went back to class and was nervous the entire time. I was wondering if they were going to ask Ellen the same questions. What would she say? How would that impact her? Nancy was bullying her. The bell rang, and it was time for lunch. Ellen wasn't back yet. She was still in Principal Meek's office. James, Jack, and me went to the cafeteria. I wonder what's taking Ellen so long, James asked. Maybe she's telling them how much of a pain in the ass Nancy was to her. I'm pretty sure everyone has painted a pretty picture of that princess, but we know she's fake. I hope Ellen tells them. Jack says angrily. I was about to tell them my dream when I saw Ellen come into the cafeteria. We waved over to her, and she walked over to us. She seemed a little bit upset. Before any of us could say anything, an announcement was made over the speaker. Students' class will be ending early today. Also, there will be no school tomorrow. A search and rescue team is being assembled to assist the police in finding Nancy White. Your parents have been advised and are on their way to pick you up. The curfew remains in effect until further notice. Please keep Nancy in your prayers. Everyone, please be careful. Heck yeah, let's go home, Jack says, exciting. You okay, Ellen? I asked her. I have this weird feeling we should go back to the bridge, Ellen says. What? Why? James asks. Because I'm pretty sure the three of you had the same dream I did, Ellen says. James, Jack, and me look confused. Come on, guys. Nancy on the bridge yelling for help, Ellen says. You had it too, I said. Damn, I thought it was just me, James says. No way, Jack says in a scared voice. Ellen looks at us. Yes, I had it too, and I could tell all day that all of you had it as well. There's something strange and weird going on. We need to figure it out. Something strange? No, this is beyond strange. How can anyone explain 4 people having the same dream twice? I told them. I don't know, but something is going on. I think we need to go back to the bridge, Ellen tells us. We all look at each other after Ellen said that. I'm not sure what took us back more, the fact we all had the same dream or the thought of us going back to the bridge. Either way, we know something was going on and affecting us. Even if we wanted to go back, we can't. Remember, we have curfew. Not to mention neither one of us has a license or a car, James says. Don't worry about that. I can get my parents' car and drive us there. That won't be a problem, Ellen says. Come on. That's too risky. It's risky as hell. My parents won't let me go anywhere, I tell Ellen. Yeah, my parents are uptight right now too, Jack says. Just tell your parents you're coming over to my house for homework, Ellen tells us. Okay, that might have worked last week, but remember, curfew. We can't be out past 5 p.m. There is no way our parents will let us go over, Jack tells her. Then just sneak out, Ellen tells us. Wait a minute. How are you going to use your parents' car? How are you going to sneak past them? I asked her. My parents are going to join the search party. Then they have to go to some counselor afterwards. They won't be back till at least 9 p.m., Ellen explains to us. That's right, the search party, I forgot. We can tell our parents to go if they're not going already, I said. Okay, Ellen, if my parents go, I'm in. But we have to be back before them, Jack says. We'll be back, don't worry. James, are you in? Ellen asks. All right, guys, looks like our parents are starting to show up. I'll call you all in about an hour to make sure everything is a go, I tell them. Our parents picked us up, and we went home. It was cloudy that day, and the gloom just added to the depressing tone that the town has taken. Mom had picked me up from school. She told me her and Dad were going to help with the search. It would be from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. They were going to search the brush area around town. I was thinking that 2.5 hours should be more than enough time for us to go and come back. I have to admit, I was scared. I was scared of being caught by the police or my parents, but I was even more scared of going back to that bridge. After 2 nightmares about it, I really didn't want to go. It was 3 o'clock, so I decided to call everyone. I was thinking maybe Ellen would change her mind. Maybe James and Jack don't want to go, so the plan would fall apart. "Hey, is everyone on the phone?" I asked. A collective response of yes was given to me. "My parents are going on the search. They told me they're leaving at 4 and won't be back till 6:30 or 7, I said. "My parents told me the same thing," Jack said. "Yeah, mine too," James says. "Okay then, we're going. After they leave, we'll wait about 15 minutes, then we'll leave. Meet at Andy's house and I will pick you up there," Ellen tells us. We all say okay and then hang up. Now the clock ticks away. I'm sitting in my room nervous as heck. My mind kept racing with a million thoughts a second. Then I finally calmed down as I hear a knock on my door. "Hey Andy, it's me," my mom says. "Come in, Mom. Your dad and me are leaving to go join the search." "Okay, Mom, you and Dad be careful. We'll bring you back something to eat, okay, Andy?" "Sounds good to me, Mom. I don't want you going anywhere. Stay in the house. If you need anything, call your Aunt Lucy. She knows we're going out to join the search and you'll be here." "Don't worry, Mom, I'll be home. Just going to watch TV and talk on the phone with my friends." "Okay, Andy, we love you and we'll see you soon." I stood by the window and watched them leave. My mind started racing again. I was wondering if that search team would find anything. Heck, I started wondering what we would say if they caught us coming back. Oh damn, what if we don't come back? What if... I hear a banging on my front door. It's James and Jack. "You ready, bro?" Jack asks. "Yeah, I guess I am," I replied. We see Ellen driving up to my house. "I didn't know Ellen knew how to drive," James says. "Me neither," I replied. "You think she's a good driver? I mean, she's not gonna wreck, is she?" Jack asked. "Damn, man, I hope not," I said. "Come on, get in, let's go," Ellen tells us. The 3 of us look at each other, we shrug our shoulders and get in the car. Ellen takes off and I look at everybody. Safe to say we're completely nervous. Ellen's car is a 1990 Ford Grand Marquis. We were quiet at first. We didn't want to make her nervous as she was driving. It was too quiet as we drove out of town, so I decided to talk. "Hey Ellen, where did you learn how to drive?" "My uncle taught me. Every time I go visit, he lets me drive his truck." "Cool, I never knew you could drive. You seem pretty comfortable." "Yeah, it's easy once you get the hang of it." "You remember where to go?" "Oh yeah, I was paying close attention when Leroy took us out there." "Good cause, I kind of forgot." "Don't worry, Andy, I know where we're going. I'll have us back before anyone notices. At least it's still day out. Not like the last time when it was dark and scary," Jack says. "Yeah, but it's still gloomy though," James says. "I'll take gloomy over darkness," Jack says. We chuckled as Ellen drove. We talked off and on, then after the turn I realized we were down the road. It wasn't pitch black, but the gray gloom still made it creepy. Good thing there wasn't no traffic down the road. Same as last time, we passed the dip, turned the car around and packed in the dip. "What do we do now?" James asks. "Same as last time, we get off the car," Ellen says. "This time leave the car on and the windows down," Jack says. "Yeah, good idea. I don't want to repeat of last time," I say. Ellen rolls down all 4 windows and leaves the car on. We exit the car and gather by the passenger side. We stand next to each other, nervously looking out towards the bridge. "Wow, you can see the bridge almost clearly during the daytime," Jack says. "Should we say something?" James asked. "No yelling, Jack," I say with a smirk on my face. "No, not this time, bro," Jake says laughingly. "Let's look around, maybe there's something of interest," Ellen says. "Look where exactly?" James asked. "There's trash down there." I tell them as I look over the guardrail. We all look over the rail. There was all kinds of trash. Looks like people drive out here and dump their trash into the creek. "What's that over there?" Ellen yells out. "What is it?" I ask. I look over and see Ellen walking over to the side. Off to the side of the rail is a chicken wire fence. It runs from the rails to the barbed wire fence of the private property. The wire fence looks old and falling apart. I'm sure it's there to keep people out of the creek. Ellen walks down past the rails. Looks like she's trying to find an opening in the wire fence. We're looking at her confused. It looks dangerous walking down there, but that's not stopping her. Ellen, what are you doing? Come back up here. You're going to get hurt, I tell her. No, not yet. I think I found something, Ellen tells us. It's just trash. Come on, Ellen, don't get hurt, James tells her. For real, guys, I think I see something out there. Please come down here and help me, Ellen pleads with us. The three of us go down where Ellen is. The ground is solid, but it slopes downward into the creek. Ellen is trying to get through the fence and go down into the creek. The wire fence is about 5 feet high. I tell the guys we're better off lifting the fence so she can crawl underneath it. With the collective effort, the three of us lift the fence up. It gives Ellen about a foot of clearance to crawl under. She gets through and goes into the creek. We look around to make sure no one else is coming. I see Ellen kneel down. Ellen, what is it? It's a bracelet. Okay, it's probably someone's trash they threw out, I yelled out to her. No, it's not trash. It's Nancy's bracelet.